The walls were too high to climb. The gates were too thick to break. So Cyrus the Great did the impossible. He simply turned off the river. In 539 BC, the mightiest city on earth fell not to swords, but to silence. The empires that built the Silk Road seemed eternal. They were not. What your history teachers told you about the ancient world isn't the whole story. This is the story of the Silk Road empires. It's about gold, power, and 4,000 miles of trade routes that once stitched every civilization on Earth together. It's about kingdoms so mighty they thought God himself guaranteed their survival and vanished in a single generation. And it's about one recurring truth that took 2,500 years to fully recognize. Let me show you what really happened. 539 BC, the ancient world smelled of cedar smoke and camel dust. Caravans stretched for miles. Merchants from China, Persia, India, and Egypt spoke one common language, prophet. Babylon stood at the center of it all. Its walls rose 85 feet high and 87 feet thick, wide enough for two chariots racing side by side. Herodotus called it the most magnificent city in the known world. Its population, over 200,000. Then came Cyrus. The Persian king had already swallowed Media, Lydia, and Anatolia. His empire stretched from modern Pakistan to Turkey. But Babylon, with its ziggurat, its sacred Euphrates, its infinite wealth, was the ultimate prize. In September 539 BC, advisors warned King Nabonidus that Persian armies were massing north of the city. He dismissed them. The walls had never been breached. Nobody knew that Cyrus wasn't planning to breach them at all. October 12, 539 BC, Babylon was celebrating the Akita festival. The streets ran with wine and torchlight. While Nabonidus feasted, Cyrus's engineers were working upstream, quietly diverting the Euphrates into irrigation canals. By midnight, the riverbed running beneath Babylon's walls had dropped to knee height. Persian soldiers waded in. No battering rams, no siege towers, no screaming armies, just silent men in shallow water, walking beneath the greatest city on earth. By dawn, Babylon had fallen without a battle. The Nabonidus Chronicle, a Babylonian clay tablet, records it plainly. Cyrus entered Babylon. Swords were not drawn. The Silk Road, for the first time in history, had a single master. In the weeks after, Cyrus issued the world's first known human rights decree, the Cyrus Cylinder. 539 BC, he freed enslaved peoples, restored temples. Ancient accounts called him a liberator. But Babylonian tablets rediscovered in the 1870s revealed something more complicated. The city's own priesthood had secretly opened the inner gates. The fall was, in part, an inside job. The empires that followed, Parthian, Sasanian, finally the Mongols, each believed their dominance was permanent. Each left only ruins and silence. Here's what history books still don't fully acknowledge. Cyrus didn't just conquer Babylon. He perfected the blueprint every empire since has used. Control the infrastructure, not the people. Turn off the river. Cut the route. Starve the city. The Silk Road itself fell the same way. Not to war, but to irrelevance. When Vasco da Gama sailed around Africa in 1498, he didn't attack the overland routes. He made them unnecessary. Overnight, for 1,000 miles of the most powerful trade network in human history became a relic. The empires didn't lose their armies. They lost their purpose. That pattern is still repeating. Every great power today fights not for territory, but for choke points. Shipping lanes, fiber cables, oil pipelines. Cyrus understood this 2,500 years ago. These vanished worlds deserve more than mythology. They deserve the truth. History is full of moments like this, where everything secretly collapsed, and no one told us why. Next week, the Mongol destruction of Baghdad, 1258, the single week that ended the Islamic Golden Age forever. Subscribe so you don't miss it. What vanished civilization should I cover next? Comments are open. Thank you for watching, and remembering. I'll see you in the next one.